Hey guys, how are you all doing? I hope you got the chance to watch the tennis. I just want to preview the final in Acapulco in Dubai, and I'll replay the match review the match's semi-finals. So let's just quickly take a look at um, Acapulco first. Yeah, let's do that. So Nadal has beat Medvedev 6-3, 6-3. Yep. And Norris beat Tsitsipas 6-4, 6-4. Nice round numbers there. And in the Nadal Medvedev match, like I said, Acapulco is a slower court than the Australian Open. The ideal court for them both to meet for Medvedev was an Australian Open type court, as fast and lower bouncing as possible. He can get it through the court, take Nadal's time to hit a forehand, get maximum value of his serve, but he's bad on. If you move it to a slower bouncing, slower speed court with higher bounce, then Medvedev, just forgetting about who he's playing, he's bad on clay. So anything close to clay, he doesn't have power to finish the court. That's the worst court for him to play. He loses in the first round the majority of the time. So his level's gone way down. But for Nadal, clay gives you 13 French Opens, 10 Rome, 11 Monte Carlo, 12 Barcelona. So Nadal's going to be his absolute best. And Medvedev is at his worst. So we're not talking about just Nadal getting his best, Medvedev staying the same. No, it's the worst for Medvedev and the best for Nadal. So I knew if the conditions fast and lower bouncing, ideal for Medvedev and bad for Nadal, even with that situation existing, Nadal was still able to just beat him. But remember, he's not beating him on like a neutral court. He's beating on his worst type of surface, where he won it once 13 years ago, and for Medvedev, the best type of surface to beat Nadal. Now, it's not the best for Nadal and the worst for Medvedev because it's not clay, but it's the second best for Nadal and the second worst. The slowest, highest bouncing hard court you could ever have, right? And then that's making Medvedev played his worst and Nadal played his best, right? So, just a minute, guys, there's a bit of wind up outside. So, what I was saying, guys, now you have a situation where it's very difficult for Medvedev because when he had the ideal conditions, the Australian Open, fast, slower bouncing, and bad conditions for Nadal, yes, he was close, but he couldn't win. So now, if he can't even win when it's ideal for him and bad for Nadal, how is he going to beat Nadal on one of his worst courts? Slow court, high bouncing, close to clay court conditions. And then for Nadal, it's one of his best conditions, slow and higher bouncing. Well, to me, that all meant that like Nadal would just win, but win by more than he did at the Australian Open because he's proved he's already good enough to beat Medvedev on Medvedev's worst court, his best court. So if you put him on one of his best courts and Medvedev on one of his worst, he's just going to win and win by more. And that's what we saw. And Medvedev didn't have the power to get through this slow court. And if he just plays his normal, consistent game, his rally shots are not getting through the court. And Nadal just has time to set up and boss him around with the forehand and overpower him. And that's what happened. So Medvedev knew, because it's not like faster court like the Australian Open, he couldn't get the ball through the court, move Nadal around, push him left to right, 3-4 shots, and then eventually get through his defense. No, he's not getting the ball through his defense at all. He's just playing consistent shots that aren't really going anywhere, aren't going through the court. And now Nadal has time to set up on the forehand, boss him around, has time to get that full swing off the forehand and just push him around and overpower him. Even with the ball going to Nadal's backhand, he can run around and hammer it. He's overpowering and dominating Medvedev with the forehand. Medvedev's not getting the ball through the court on his shots, and it's just a much easier situation for Nadal than it was at the Australian Open. And even Medvedev having a better serve than Nadal, the court's slowing down the serve. Nadal has more time to get the ball back, get him in a rally, and even take that away. And then the high bounce doesn't really affect Medvedev, but Nadal's is jumping up higher, the Australian Open, lower bouncing court that took him away. But again, he still wanted the Australian Open. So, as I said, all these factors, he would win. By more, he did. Medvedev couldn't get it through the court because it was slower, like I predicted. And Nadal had more time to set up on the forehands, overpower Medvedev with Medvedev's rally shots not going through the court. Nadal having time to set up and just overpowering with the forehand. Even on the backhand, can run around and hit forehands. Get more of Medvedev's serves back because it's a slower court, and then get more higher bounce to jump higher to throw Medvedev off, which he didn't get at the Australian Open. And all of those things happen. And like I said, all of those things led to Nadal winning, but winning by more because he's playing on a court that's better for him and worse for Medvedev. And then Medvedev tried to combat this by saying, I can't do anything with the rallies with you because I'm just overpowered, right? So I'm going to try to get to the net. Well, Nadal had more time to set up for passing shots. Slower court. Okay, I'll do drop shots. Well, Nadal was fast enough to get in, hit those. Sometimes they ended both at the net. Nadal's better at the net. When Medvedev comes into volley, he's not great at the net, and Nadal's great at passing, has more time to set up for the passing shots. And Medvedev reverted to, I'm just going to stay at the back of the court. I'm just going to go for it, and I'm going to hit the ball as hard as I can near the lines to shorten the point because I can't stay with Nadal in the long rallies. Well, that just led for Medvedev hitting the ball too hard, too close to the line and make errors. So when Medvedev tried to shorten the points and attack and hit the ball really hard on the line, he gets errors. Drop shots, Nadal comes in and gets them. Comes to the net, Nadal's got more time to set up for passing shots, passes him, and he even passed him at the Australian Open. So everything's just better for Nadal. And then when Medvedev plays consistency, his normal game, they're not going through the court. He's not impacting the rally. He's not pushing Nadal around. And then Nadal's having time to set up, hit forehand, and dominate Medvedev and push him around and overpower him with the forehand. So whatever Medvedev did, it didn't work. Those were a few of those things. But like I said, Nadal was better than Medvedev on Medvedev's ideal court and one of Nadal's worst courts. So on one of Nadal's better courts and one of Medvedev's worst, Nadal was just that much better and Medvedev was just that much worse. So instead of Nadal winning in 5 sets, in best of 3, he wins straight sets, 6-3, 6-3. So let's move on to the other semi-final. 6-4, 6-4, Norrie over Tsitsipas. Norrie just played a good, consistent game. Sometimes was able to attack a bit and move Tsitsipas around, expose his lack of movement. With a slow court, Tsitsipas just went for too much, tried to end the point, the very first or second shot, tried to hit the ball too hard, too close to the lines, made a whole lot of errors, and wasn't patient enough for someone as fast as Norrie, as good defensively as Cameron Norrie, on a slower court, where to get the ball past someone who's as fast as Norrie on a slower court where he's got more time to get to the balls. He had to be patient. He wasn't. He wanted to end it in 1 or 2 shots. Was hitting the ball too hard, too close to the line, too much risk, made too many errors, and wasn't willing to say, this court is slow. It's going to be hard to hit winners, and Norrie is fast. It's going to be hard to get past him. He's going to have extra time to get to balls. But he wasn't patient. He wanted to end it right away. So hitting the ball too hard, too close to the line, too many errors. And then Norrie, when he's not going for too much, move him around, exposing the lack of movement. So that's 6-4, 6-4. So the final will be Cameron Norrie against Rafael Nadal. I just think Norrie, again, won't have power like Medvedev didn't. And in fact, will have even less power than what Medvedev had in the rallies. And Medvedev didn't have enough power because when he played his normal game, Nadal just bosses him around, dominates him with the forehand. Well, guess what? Norrie's consistent like Medvedev, has great defense like Medvedev, but struggles to have power to end the point on a slow court like Medvedev. But the difference is Medvedev has a little bit more power than him to impact Nadal. He's got even less power. So this will mean Nadal will have even more time to set up on the forehand. Will just be able to dominate Norrie, push him around, overpower him. All the rallies will be Nadal standing in the middle, dominating with the forehand and pushing Norrie around. There's not much Norrie will be able to do because he just won't have the power to rush Nadal and won't even have the power of Medvedev in the rallies, which wasn't enough. So then again, Nadal's going to have even more power and even less threat coming back at him. So it's an even better situation. Like I said, he's facing the same in Norrie as Medvedev, consistent and a great defender, but not enough power to finish the points. But at least sometimes Medvedev rushed him a bit, moved him around a bit, took his time away a bit, but it just wasn't enough. Norrie won't even be able to do that. It's just going to be like when he plays Schwartzman, these other clay quarters. They're consistent, they're good defense, but Nadal overpowers them with the forehand. They're just getting the ball in, but Nadal's just standing in the middle, hammering the forehand, moving them right to left, and it's just like a Nadal Ferrer or Schwartzman type game with Nadal standing in the middle, hammering the forehand. They're consistent. They're always running right to left. Nadal hits one more forehand till he ends the point, and he's just going to stand in the middle, hammer forehand, overpower Norrie, and Norrie will just be running around, and he'll just be helpless. He won't have the power in the rallies to match Nadal, and that's his game, consistent and rallying. If he tries to say, I'm going to go for more to take Nadal's time away, then he's going to have to hit the ball really hard, really close to the line. It's not his game. He'll make errors, and then if he goes back to his consistent game, Nadal's overpowering and moving around, dominating the rallies with the forehand, straight sets to Nadal. He's your 2022 Acapulco champion. Then over in Dubai, Vesely beat Shapovalov. That just came down to a tiebreaker, a few points here and there. He was a bit better. Rublev beat Hurkacz. Again, it came down to a third set tiebreaker. Rublev just a bit experienced and just a bit better at the few important points. So now we've got Rublev versus Vesely in the Dubai final. I think in this match, Rublev against Vesely in the Dubai final, I would have went for Rublev. I think he's a better player. But the fact that I think Vesely, he's beat Marian Cilic in his first match. He beat Batista Agut in his second match. Djokovic in the third. Now Shapovalov, I thought he would lose all of those, but he's won them all. So I'm not going to count him out. I'm like, if he can beat all of those guys, he'll beat Rublev. And then on a fast court, a big serve, power guy who's attacking, shortening points, taking time away. Rublev doesn't like that. He wants to get involved in a rally, use his consistent power, hammer 4 or 5 shots, move the guy around, and eventually end the point with a winner. But Vesely is going to shorten the points, take his time away. He won't be able to get in a rally and have consistency. He won't be able to get any rhythm in the rallies, Rublev, and he won't have time to set up to hit his powerful shots. He'll be always rushed. He'll be always short on time. He won't have time to set up to create power and hit those powerful shots because he'll be rushed and he won't have time to set up. And he won't get any rhythm. He won't be able to get in any rallies and won't have time to set up for his power. He'll just be overpowered and rushed, and the points will be short, and he won't have time to get any sort of rhythm on his shots. And Vesely is going to simply overpower him. I'm saying because of Vesely's power, Vesely's serve, the fast court, and because Rublev doesn't like players that attack, shorten the point, take his time away, doesn't have time to set up with the power, can't get rhythm to get in a rally. So he doesn't like that. And then the fact that Vesely's beat all those quality players, beat Djokovic, and then the fact that he has a game to rush Rublev, to overpower him, and he has a fast court that's going to enable his powerful game, which is going to make his big serve and his power game even more effective. And it's going to give Rublev even less time on his shots, less chance to get involved in a rally and get rhythm. So his power is going to be more effective because of the fast court. And then when you add to that, he's in form. And then when you add to that, these big serving power guys on fast courts, it doesn't suit Rublev because he can't get in rallies, doesn't have time to set up. So based on all that, I'm going to say Vesely's going to win it in 3 sets. But it is going to be a great match. But just based on what Vesely did, I'm not going to bet against him based on the fact that he's got a game that can beat Rublev and the fact that the fast court's going to enable his serve and power game. So I'm saying Vesely in 3 sets. It's going to be 3 sets because still he's playing Rublev, a guy who's ranked much higher than him, who's consistently much better. So that's good enough to give Rublev a set. But based on all the things that I said before, Vesely's winning this. He's winning this in 3 sets. Vesely is your 2022 Dubai champion, while Rafael Nadal is your 2022 Acapulco champion. So Nadal's taking it in straight sets in Acapulco and Vesely in 3 sets in Dubai. That's my video for today, guys. So subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. Be here for my next video. And check out, I've done a video about my experience. I was actually at the Australian Open Final 2022. I was there. I did a video about my experience. That's up on the channel. Take a look at that. But subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. Be here for my next video, guys. I'm going to do some videos between now and Indian Wells. So be back for some of those. Subscribe, guys. Thumbs up, bell notification. See you guys soon for my next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now. See you guys later.